It's been too long, Woody.
Came here as fast as I could after Jesse called for help.
Oh, thank you!
We've got it handled. Look, Star, Deputy, me, no Star.
Oh, hey, Buzz, what is that?
What? Where?
Ow.
At the time, as a trilogy, Toy Story was considered just as good as Lord of the Rings, just because of how much of a cinematic masterpiece it was and just how much of an achievement it was for animation. When the ending to it felt definitive, and the story itself, from the first movie to the third movie, it felt like it was intentional. It felt like it was planned. It felt like the three movies basically told the story of childhood, from a toddler all the way to a child that grows up. That's essentially what Toy Story is, because at its core, the overarching themes of the movie is childhood, growing up, and letting go. And the original trilogy, or the first three Toy Story movies, perfectly told this. Disney have released the final trailer for Toy Story 5, and like Toy Story 4, I just think it's unnecessary and not needed. And pretty much what the overarching theme of Toy Story, or the third Toy Story movie, is about letting go and moving on. Disney are struggling to let go and move on. The ending to Toy Story 3, it was perfect. It was perfect. It finished Woody's arc. In the first Toy Story movie, he went through a crisis of dealing with Buzz. A new toy. He was being replaced, or he felt like he was being replaced by a new toy. And that whole movie is Woody coming to terms with the fact that someone else or something new has come in and he's being replaced.
Accepted into your culture. Your chief, Andy, inscribed his name on me.
Wow! With permanent ink, too.
Well, I must get back to repairing my ship.
Don't let it get to you, Woody.
Let what? I don't, what do you mean? Who?
And he's learning to deal with that. Because up until Buzz came in, Woody was Andy's favorite toy. And that happens as a kid. I remember when I was a kid, I had toys, I loved them, and then when I got a new one, I just chucked them in the box and never used them again. That happens. And then the second Toy Story movie, Woody's coming to terms with the fact that Andy's growing up. And he's going through sort of a midlife crisis kind of thing of what to do. Like, he doesn't know what to do. He's lost because Andy's growing up and he's slowly moving on. And Woody just doesn't know how to come to terms with that. And he becomes angry and frustrated by it all. But by the end of the second movie, Woody realizes that he's just going to enjoy what time he has left with Andy.
Andy, you think she's ready to drive the car yet?
Yeah, and I can teach her.
You still worried?
About Andy? Nah. It'll be fun while it lasts.
I'm proud of you, cowboy.
Besides, when it all ends, I'll have old Buzz Lightyear to keep me company.
And then by the third movie comes around, Andy's grown up and he's ready to go to college. Woody's come to terms with that. He can't accept it, but he comes to terms with it. And then they go to the daycare center. And through the journey of the third movie, Woody finally accepts that Andy has to move on. But then Andy gives the toys to Bonnie. And that last shot of Andy driving away, the toys are handed off to Bonnie, their new sort of, I guess, owner or a new kid that's going to play with them. It's kind of bittersweet because he's parting ways with his toys. The toys have to accept that Andy's parted ways with him, but he's also given them to a new owner or a new person that's going to love the toys the same way that he did. But it's also that bittersweet reality of growing up. Every kid has been through that phase where they've had to just dump their toys. The movies perfectly capture what it's like as a kid to grow up. And it's such like a beautiful ending. They should have just left it. They should have just let go. Like Toy Story 4, I enjoyed it, but it felt like an epilogue to Toy Story 3, an unneeded epilogue. They pretty much just reset Woody's character. They turned him into a lost toy again and just removed all the growth that he's gone through and he's accepted. They kind of compromised the core message of the franchise, which is helping the toys find a forever home. And they prioritize just having big crazy adventures over this. Like, I just watched the trailer and it kind of almost feels like, obviously I haven't seen the fifth Toy Story movie, but it just seems like it's the same sort of plot as the first movie. A new toy comes in, which is new technology, like an iPad. It's modern day technology. It comes in and it's replacing toys. And the toys got to come to terms with the fact that a new toy has come in and they're being replaced by that new toy. It's the same thing. I feel like Disney's doing this to appeal to a whole new generation. Disney itself is just stuck in this infinite loop of sequels, but they're now just building towards Toy Story to be stuck in this infinite loop of sequels. Because if you can't end it on Toy Story 3, then how are you ever going to be able to end the franchise? And whenever they do hopefully decide to end it, I feel like it's not going to be the same payoff that we got in Toy Story 3. And this was almost like a movie that I've actually forgot was coming out until I saw the new trailer. Like, I don't really have much of an interest in the movie. Like, I feel like it's not needed. I'll probably wait until it comes out on streaming, but it's not a movie that I need in my life. And I think fans of Pixar, like in general, we just want something new, something fresh. Coco was the last movie, I think, or Soul, whichever one came first, I can't remember. But those two are kind of the last ones that really had the Pixar magic in it. They're just moving towards just bringing up old IP and using nostalgia to keep it going. They're bringing out a third Incredibles movie. I just feel like they need a fresh restart. Pixar and Disney cannot actually be that creatively lost. Like surely they've got ideas that they can use, stories to tell. I would much rather them spend another 10 years developing a new Pixar movie than just keep rehashing old movies or creating just sequels and just ruining the past legacy of those movies. Pixar and Toy Story, like these movies seem just like an endless continuation that is driven by box office numbers. And they're kind of sacrificing good storytelling and making good movies for, I guess, corporate incentives like selling merchandise, box office numbers, park sales, like all this stuff. I feel like that's their driving incentive rather than what we love Toy Story as, which is amazing storytelling. And continuing the story, it seems like they're just going for bigger and grander, and they're introducing concepts that kind of feel detached from what was all about Toy Story, which is like a grounded bedroom-based story that lacks the magic of the original films. And I feel like a lot of people aren't overly excited for this movie, or they don't really care for it. The previous reviews and numbers for the last Toy Story movie, like fans have accepted and let go of Toy Story. I feel like Toy Story should have ended, and we all accepted that when the third movie came out. We were all happy with it because of how perfect it was. And I think this is something that Disney need to learn. Sometimes every great thing comes to an end, and every great story, every great franchise, every great film, it needs an end. And Toy Story had its end, and it should have been left at its end. And Disney just can't let go. Instead of letting them go, they just want to drag these characters through endless adventures instead of creating something that's completely new.